Illusion versus truth is one of my favorite research topics. And China, as I'm sure you must have known by now, is my favorite subject. There are a number of statements prevalent in the media that project China as a major military superpower. So I'll quickly summarize my illusion versus truth analysis of China's military might and then tell you a story. Illusion. China is a military superpower. Truth. China is a military partial power. Illusion. China is a global power. Truth. China is a regional power. Illusion. China can project power anywhere in the world. Truth. China cannot project power anywhere outside of its Asian neighborhood. Illusion. China has a powerful military force. Truth. China has a military force which is not battle tested. Illusion. China has a huge navy. Truth. China has a coastal littoral force, a green water navy at best. Illusion. China has advanced aircraft carriers. Truth. China has two modest aircraft carriers. Illusion. China has a lethal air force. Truth. China's air force has no long-range strike ability or proven stealth capacity. Illusion. Chinese can fight in mountains like mountain lions. Truth. Chinese run for their lives in mountains like mountain goats, especially when they see Indian soldiers. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group, and I'm your host Atul Mishra. In this video, I will tell you about how military superpower China ran for its life when it crossed with India in the arduous terrains of Ladakh. Let's begin. The Chinese are a funny people. Of course, we mean the Chinese communists. They are a bunch of clowns who think they have it all under control, even while their own backyard, home and pants are on fire. Do you remember how India thrashed Chinese wimp-like soldiers in Ladakh last year? 20 brave Indian soldiers were killed in action. Innumerable Chinese little emperors were dispatched with a one-way ticket to their eternal kingdoms as well. However, India is a dignified, rules-based and humane democracy. China, on the other hand, is a mockery of a nation-state. It is a communist dictatorship. So while India admitted its casualties in the Galwan Valley clash and released the names of those brave hearts martyred while protecting their motherland from Chinese invaders, the CCP at first tried to hide the number of human losses suffered by the People's Liberation Army. Then it went on to admit, after 7 months, in February this year, that 4 of its soldiers had been killed as well. India, meanwhile, has awarded the highest war decorations to these soldiers slain in Galwan last year. Now, Chinese Foreign Ministry pamphlets, Xinhua News and Global Times have come out to report that not 4 but 5 Chinese soldiers were killed during the Galwan Valley bloody brawl with India last year. This revelation comes in the backdrop of domestic pressure mounting on the CCP to honor those PLA soldiers and officers slain during last year's clash in the Himalayas. In a post-facto fictitious tale glorifying a slain Chinese soldier's so-called heroics, Global Times has claimed that Chen Hongjun died along with his 4 comrades in arms. According to Global Times' emotional thriller, as he saw several soldiers were besieged by the Indian troops, Chen Hongjun once again turned around without hesitation and led the soldiers to charge again at the battleground. This was after Chen had, according to the Chinese state media, reportage a year after the incident. This was after Chen had, according to Chinese state media reportage, a year after the incident, rushed forward against the stones that were being hurled and the blows from sticks wielded by Indian troops. Global Times also declared Chinese victory over India, as it said it is Chinese officers and soldiers' shared belief to live or to die together in the battlefield that had helped earn the victory over Indian troops with fewer people during the Galwan Valley clash in June 2020. It did not, however, say whether it was the shared belief of the CCP functionaries to deliberately withhold information from the Chinese public, especially when it relates to the death of PLA soldiers. It also did not say whether it is the shared belief of the CCP at large and Xi Jinping's lackeys specifically to falsely claim victory over India, when in fact the PLA troops were respectfully handed their bottoms by the Indian army in June last year. As reported by TFI after the clashes, Indian soldiers entered a rage that China had not foreseen, and they started fighting with bare hands and snapped necks of PLA soldiers in the process. The iron rods and spiked nail bats used by the Chinese soon fell into the hands of the Indians. Heavy casualties were inflicted on the Chinese, and 16 bodies were returned to them by the time the face-off ended. China had 16 initial casualties as compared to 3 initial casualties on the Indian side. This speaks volumes about how China is lying about the actual number of soldiers killed on its side. The latest revelation by China, complemented with a riveting fan fiction account of what Chinese little emperors were made to go through by Indian soldiers, is a desperate attempt by the CCP to save face and also to quell growing anger among the Chinese citizens who are continuously demanding that those slain during the clashes last year be honored. When China satiates itself with thrilling accounts of events from last year's clashes and tries to paint a victorious picture for itself falsely, India has been working overtime to counter any Chinese threat in the region. In a historic shift last month, at least 50,000 Indian troops were redirected to the northern border with China, taking India's total troop tally in the region to well over 200,000, signaling an increase of more than 40% from last year. Therefore, at a time when China is engaging in a propaganda which would put Joseph Goebbels to shame, India is ready to whack the PLA if they so desire in the foreseeable future.